Hi there. This is Andrea Henning and Franciska Dekker, and we are both managing partners with Tiara International. And this is our Tiara Talk, and we are talking today about community as a principle in leadership development. And well, there's one quote that I always love, and that is by Mr. Lewis, C.S. Lewis. He says, friends are like coals in a fire, and together they glow, apart they grow cold. And it symbolizes, or it's a metaphor that together we can really ignite ourselves and each other. And if we are separate, if we are alone, well, that's a different story altogether. So yeah, this is a thing that we feel really important in leadership, and so how do we apply that actually? Well, we have a very recent and very inspiring event where we applied this. And Andrea, can I invite you to talk a bit more about what we did recently? So it's quite an adventure.
Quite an adventure, yes. Especially for me, it was an adventure on top of an adventure because I hurt my back. And without community, I wouldn't survive that, but that on a personal note. But actually, yeah, recently we went to Croatia with a group of Tiara leaders. We could say we have really a lot of different places where we can come together, all different opportunities where we actually can meet face-to-face or also virtually. And one of the things that we do, we travel together. Of course, during COVID, there was a lot less travel, but after that, we have taken it up again. And so this was the second time that a group of us, we were 10 people, were traveling to Croatia, to Terra Meera. And Terra Meera is a center for regeneration and human potential. I have to take a little to look at my note here. So Center for Regeneration and Human Potential. It is in the middle of a recovering war zone, we could say. So Croatia has been in war in the 90s and still recovering. And regeneration is about putting life in the center. And so you can talk about regenerative tourism or regenerative agriculture or regenerative anything. And it's about this, putting this life force in the middle, and how would it then look like, and which is then relating to the coals that grow cold, that is really igniting life again in a country and a zone that has been really suffering. When we travel as a community, we always kind of come up with a theme, and the theme already is showing itself. And the theme as a community, as leaders that we were exploring, was about truth, reconciliation, and regeneration. And oh boy, that was a deep dive, wasn't it, Franciska? Maybe you can say something about it. What came up here for us?
Yeah, and what came up for us? There were things coming up at individual levels, and also as a group. Indeed. And yeah, what in essence came up, well, you have to help me here, because
so once you have an intention, and this is true for whether you're a team, like for any kinds of communities, like starting with an intention. And we indeed started with this intention to look into this also personal regeneration. And what we see, the depth of that the truth could show itself for each and every one of us, needs a total trust, trusting each other, and a community that can support each other one of the principles is that there is deep trust. And when there's deep trust, things can surface that couldn't surface before. So when we were looking at the personal truths that we were surfacing, the surprise was that was something, first of all, that we could never have come up on our own autonomously. And second, we were really also surprised how deep it went. So these are actually truths that were in our shadow. It was deep pain by choices that we made, for instance. Even if we were completely aligned still with our choices, the truth also was that these choices have cost us something. So, and what was emerging was this beautiful integration of, you can have regrets and you can be proud of your life at the same time. And so when the truth surfaced, then reconciliation can start as a process without us doing actively things. And so this is also true with maybe on a bigger scheme with this community in Terra Meera. When the truth of their history comes up, the reconciliation can take place. So it's the acknowledgement that is liberating and showing itself. And at the same time, the theme of regeneration means that it has cost us. So how can we heal? But how can we rejuvenate? And also that is a process. And bottom line, tying it back to a community, we go to places together because it's safe enough that we would not travel on our own, because part of it is that you travel into the midst of your trauma. Yeah. And when you travel towards the midst of your trauma, to not getting traumatized all over again, but actually feel the lifting of the burden by just seeing the whole truth and accepting it, and then moving forward. That was something, that was a depth that even with earlier travels that we have done together, that was a new kind of depth that we reached. And it was only possible because we have been traveling so much and the trust was there. Yeah, so I am really proud of ourselves here. And I would also like inspire this to the people who are listening to that, like, where do you have communities? It can start with friendships. It can start with a one-on-one relationship. I know that you and I have this relationship of trust for more than 20 years now. So where do you have a level of trust that you can actually look at things that you have not been able to look at before?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, thank you indeed. And to add to what you are sharing is that we are taking personal journeys together. And so that maybe we all are at the leading edge of our lives. Well, at least that is an intention that we have when we are participating in the Tiara community, but we don't realize anything on our own. So to the question, what have we reached in Croatia here, is indeed this deep level of truth inside of us, which is looking differently for each, but none of us would have been able to reach that depth, and from there the reconciliation and the access to the freedom to fully be at the leading edge of our lives. None of us could have done that without the other, and I personally feel really transformed again. It's a never-ending journey.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe just to add to that, it's always different, but we surface certain principles that are universal. So also the principle of truth, what does it really mean? Like, it's really looking at the whole spectrum, unopinionated, And then once you have tasted what the principle means, you can, based on this principle, you can look for it. And then again, you can also look for it maybe personally, and you don't need community so much for the next step. But without community, you don't get to these principle-based truths. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks. Yeah. So to all of you, cherish your communities, clean them up if necessary also. And if you're looking for peer support in conscious leadership development, then you're welcome to join our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.